Welcome back to
The Ghouls Room.
I'm Jilly.
I'm Jessy.
And today I wanted to read something from one of our listeners.
I'd love to hear something from one of our listeners.
So someone really smart told me I should call these spooky dooky stories since we're in a bathroom. And I know Jessy loves that I call it that because it was his idea. He said, Jill, you need to call it this. And I said, okay, I will. Okay, so this story is called My Butt.
My Butt.
Gosh. This is called My Bigfoot Encounter, and this is from a friend of the show, JD. Thank you so much for
JD.
sending this in.
Very excited.
The first part of this happened around 2005. I was 20 at the time, I believe. I would often go to the World's End State Park here in Pennsylvania and do a few hikes each year. Oh, that kind of sounds so... I've never heard of that. The
Already
World's
ominous.
End. Right? That kind of sounds amazing. Being that it is a short drive from my town, it never was a burden or an overnight trip. This time, though, I had been having a rough week prior to the hike and needed to desperately clear my head. So I packed up my day bag, a film camera, some snacks and water, and of course my earbuds and MP3 player.
Given the, context of everything, I have to imagine the bad week is not about to improve.
I parked at the main lot, grabbed the updated maps from the station, and set off around 9 in the morning. Also, he woke up early. What's worse than that?
Gross.
It was a warm, sunny day, and I had planned on being out most of the day. I started with a smaller loop trail that would spit me out next to a trail I hadn't hiked in a while. Once I finished that one, it was a short walk to the next trail start, just down by the parking lot. I headed up one of my favorite places to go, the Canyon Vista Trail, a 3.9-mile loop that I had hiked several times throughout my life. However, I was overly confident in myself after a lunch break at the Vista Overlook. After getting back on the trail, I had music going and was just walking along trying to clear my thoughts. And that was the beginning of the story. Dun dun!
The end.
I lost the trail.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I was on some sort of footpath, but it wasn't the wider, clearer, maintained path I had been on. I looked around and didn't see the trail markers or any of the trees I could see. So instead of turning around, I kept going down this little path. I noticed a small slope ahead, downward, and followed it. That was when I saw the fence. Ooh.
Yeah.
Not a white picket fence or an old wooden split rail fence. This fence was about 10 feet tall, reinforced posts, and entirely coated with a green rubber coating or spray. It was very well hidden, not visible from roads or a sanctioned trail. I just stumbled upon it. I took a few pictures and kept walking around it slowly. I noticed a much denser foliage system inside the fenced-off area, and outside the fence, it was a clear boundary around it for about 10 feet before the weeds and wood line started up.
With the dense foliage, I'm just picturing, the raptor enclosure in Jurassic Park.
Yes.
You cannot see anything inside.
I was just thinking a big bush for some reason. I was like, foliage, one single bush. I walked a bit further around it when the first oddity happened. I stepped into...
I'd say arguably the second oddity after the fence.
That's
the
very true.
10-foot camouflaged fence.
I stepped into a footprint. A footprint!
A normal-sized foot, pray tell? Or perhaps...
Not a boot, but a foot. A humanoid-typed foot with 5 toes... but much, much larger than any I have seen before.
A big
foot.
foot.
A foot that's real big. He is a football player. No. I stepped out of it and stood back. I was sure I knew what this was, so I grabbed a bottle of water and laid it down in the footprint and took a picture. That's really smart. I don't think I ever... That's smart.
You always want size references if you're taking pictures.
Oh, that's what...
Because otherwise it could be
smart.
any...
I thought he poured water into the footprint so that you could see the print better. I mean, like, wow, that's so...
I'm sure that too, but...
That's so funny.
Honestly, that would destroy the footprint.
I know. That's why I was like, that's so weird. I don't know why'd he do that. He said, no one will know about this Bigfoot with 5 toes.
This is mine.
But then I thought, if there is one print, there have to be more. So I oriented myself to the print and looked ahead. I saw it. Approximately 5 to 6 feet away, another print on the edge of the vegetation line going away from the fence into the woods. The dark, dense woods. I got chills at that point, like I was being watched by someone. Something. I backed to the fence and thought, did it just hop over or climb over? And looked up. You know when you go to step over a fence that's about waist high and you put your hands on it and step over the fence?
I do.
And the fence bows a little? That was like that, but like 10 feet up.
Jeez.
Was it a tree branch that did it right over the footsteps? Or was it a spot it grabbed and propelled itself over? Either way, it was odd placement.
Fence needed to be a lot taller.
I just knew I had to get moving. So I started walking around the massive fenced-in area with my guard up. You should have put your fence up, too. And then I hear what sounded like someone keeping pace with me inside the fence. So I started walking faster. It kept pace. I jogged. It jogged. I got to the corner and grabbed the post and made the turn and started running. A large branch flew towards me inside the fence area and hit the chains, throwing back the pieces all over me. I could hear the growl, rumbling of the creature that just did this, and I took off as fast as I could. I believe I was on what looked like a four-wheeler path paralleling the blocked off area, so I kept going. I followed this path to what I believed was north, and about 2 miles later, I arrived back at the parking area of the Vista Overlook. Not wanting to get lost again, I took the path I came up initially. I got back to my car and drove home.
And I am never going back again.
I am never going back, and my day has gotten so much weirder. I told a few friends what happened, and some coworkers said I should go back up and find it again and take more pictures. Fast forward a year, I decided to go back with my digital camera and try to find it again. This time, armed with a map of where I thought the area was. Instead of wasting time hiking up from the bottom, I parked at the Vista and started on the path. Not sure that I would actually find it, but then I noticed the trail changed and figured I was on the right path. Literally. I got to the ridge and started down it, knowing I was 100 feet or so from the fence. That was when a lone man in all black fatigues came out from the tree line with his right hand on his hip where I presume his pistol was. He told me to stop where I was and turn around and go back. I said that I had just gotten lost from the trail, so I followed this path. He told me to turn around and leave and not return. That was when he spotted my camera on my bag and told me to stop. He came over and told me to delete any pictures I had taken and not to turn it on, or I would be detained. I told him I haven't even powered it on since I left my car. He told me to go back to my car and forget what I saw. Not wanting to get detained or shot, I listened to him and left. Since then, I have looked on Google Earth a lot and found the fence-in area by World's End and found it. It looked to be called Devil's Garden, and it is so big. I don't know what they are keeping in there, but I am nearly 100% sure a Bigfoot calls it home. Ah! That's crazy.
I mean, it doesn't sound like they're keeping it in there because the fence is not tall enough.
Right. Clearly he jumped over it. So, but maybe he lived. Maybe the government's protecting this Bigfoot in the one instance.
Endangered species.
Yes, and they're letting him live behind the fence.
My mind goes right to like experiments, like Stranger Things, like the energy not that it's really the end, but that's what the front is.
They're like, I will take this. Thank you so much, JD. We appreciate that. That's literally crazy. Go back. No, find it again.
Take a drone, shoot it up into the air, see what you can find.
Find us a Bigfoot. We'd really like that.
Any other Pennsylvania listeners want to go check it out, please?
Oh, please. Tell us all about
I mean, don't get shot, but like just figure out the truth and tell us everything.
That would be terrible. Don't do that. Well, no, wait.
Getting shot or finding out the truth?
Don't get shot. Find out the truth.
Yes.
So I was feeling in the mood for big feet.
Don't put it like that. Don't ruin Sasquatch for me.
So I found another encounter. This is from our favorite, a deleted Reddit user.
Get all their best submissions from Okay. What, pray tell, is the title of this one?
1 year ago, I've had 2 encounters in my life. Deleted.
Okay.
Okay. So, this person says, I've had 2 encounters in my life. Both were characterized. Oh, I'm so silly, by the way, really quick. The 1 year ago, that's just, it was posted a year ago.
Oh, okay.
The way it is, it looks like it's 1 year ago
Right.
I've had. It's
Right.
not. Okay.
Okay.
I've had 2 encounters in my life. Both were characterized by the same things happening almost in the same order.
Ooh.
1, a natural, almost cast a spell on you type of fear. I went to war. Ooh.
Oh.
Not what I was expecting, but okay. I went to war. I lived in extremely violent neighborhoods growing up. I lived in a very dysfunctional household as a kid, and I have been in very hairy situations as an adult.
Hairy? Like Bigfoot?
Bigfoot.
Is there any indication, like, geographically, this one?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, like...
Oh, so...
Like, from what it's been so far,
edit.
It literally could be anywhere in the world.
There's an edit at the very end that says both encounters were in the Olympic Peninsula and around Mount St. Helens in Washington. So these are all near and around Washington.
Yeah. Bigfoot country.
I am not going to say I am fearless, but I do have an excellent ability to keep it together in bad situations.
I'm not fearless, but I do fear less.
And not freeze. So he's also freezeless. Both encounters, I had crippling, frustrating, and just uncontrollable, paralyzing fear wash over me instantaneously seconds before visual confirmation. That's scary.
Before you see it, yeah.
2, imagine you are listening to music and someone suddenly fades out all the music for a few seconds, and just as you realize that all got dead silent, absolutely all the noise your senses can handle come back again, dialed to 11.
Ew.
On both encounters, we experienced this, coupled with intense boulder and log throwing at our vicinities.
That's so interesting. I don't think I've ever heard, like, the hearing loss part of it.
Right, and also the intense fear before.
Yeah.
In my head, I always picture Bigfoot being like the loved, like, you know what I mean? He's just
Harry and the
different.
Hendersons.
Yeah, like he's just, people don't understand him.
I feel like there are different creature stories where, like, the paralyzing fear or, like, alien abduction or, like, even sleep paralysis, you know, like,
right.
I feel like that's more, not necessarily for Bigfoot, of course, but, like, in general, that's a little more common. But
right.
Yeah, the sound thing is so interesting.
Because of 1 and 2, I firmly believe that we, the people I was with, said the same later, got tactically disoriented to the point that we simply cannot fully remember or understand the features we all saw. You know what that reminds me of? I was listening to this really cool podcast, and it's called The Cryptic Cases. And in that podcast,
I would call this shameless, but technically it's not your podcast, so I'll allow it.
But the fog, or what do they call it?
Yeah,
the fog,
where you
right?
can't really remember what it looks like.
Like
fully.
you see it, but you either don't remember or you can't describe because it's like a protection of them.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this reminds me of. Shout out, listen to The Cryptic Cases. Anyways. All right. 3, my experience and the experience of the many people I've known that had one. Also tend to focus on one thing. During an encounter, you get drawn to 1, maybe 2 specific features. That's it. People that can sit there and sketch you a perfect model, I find questionable. For us, it was blurs, followed by suddenly looking at the most intense human-like bright amber eyes I have ever seen. Followed by blurs and just what looked like a towering Squawk O'Neal.
Shaq O'Neal?
Oh, Shaquille O'Neal. I was like,
I said
Squawk?
Squawk.
I don't get
I was
it.
like, yeah, Squawk. That sounds like a name of like a globetrotter or something. I don't freaking know.
That's so funny. Followed by blurs and just what looked like a towering Shaquille O'Neal on a ghillie suit. I say ghillie suit because the hair was long and flowing, not short like this video.
Ooh.
I'm so sorry. So this is in reference to, I found this under, does everyone know the Patty picture?
Oh, the Patterson
famous-
Gimlin, yeah. The
Of the
Bigfoot picture.
The Bigfoot picture. So I guess they call it Patty.
Yeah.
So I found this person's stories underneath comparison to the Patty videos.
Gotcha.
So that's what he was talking about. Anyway, it was many years ago, and I've done purposeful efforts to put it out of my mind. That's all I remember other than the events that led to them. So that's the end of that story. But I wonder if, if everyone only remembers like 2 features, can they take everyone's 2 featers and build a face?
I mean, that's also not like that.
Or is it the same 2 features?
It's not that. It doesn't seem that weird to me because, like, even, like, you always,
too.
I was gonna say, like, you always hear police say, like, when they're getting like witness reports and stuff, people are really bad at remembering details,
Features
especially if they're not like going out of their way to remember it as it's happening.
Right, exactly.
So like I can totally see that being the case in like an even more stressful situation.
Right. And especially if everything is so foreign, but you see like the yellow amber eyes.
Yeah.
That's obvious. You're going to remember that because you're looking at the, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I just thought that was a cool little side quest.
I really wish you went into more detail because like the sound thing too is like so interesting.
Right. Because it reminds me of like certain movies that everything gets quiet, but you know it's happening because you're watching it.
Yeah.
But then the person in the movie, it's like, okay, like, did they just 1 second notice, be like, wait a minute, everything's quiet. But then it said when you notice that everything's quiet, it comes back louder.
Yeah.
And that was that was very interesting.
Yeah.
So that's my big feetsies stories.
Big old tootsies.
5 toes, 2 stories. Love it or list it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I say
Usually
that.
5
Love it or list
stars.
it, but that's a TV show.
5 toes, 5 stars.
Everyone leave us a 5-toe review.
Please don't.
On Yak.
I don't know what that would even be, but don't.
Send us feet pictures. In the toilet. I was kidding.
I quit.
Touching the toilet seat.
I quit. I don't want to be here anymore.
Do you have something for us?
Would you like
today?
some more
so much.
search and rescue
So much.
story? All right, we're on to part 5.
I think about this often.
Actually, the going silent and coming back kind of reminds me of this too. I feel like one of the last entries had like that really loud sound.
I feel
There's,
like a lot
something
of them almost accidentally tie into each other, which is kind of crazy.
That's its own spookiness.
Right?
Content warning, child loss and death.
I apologize. I know my screen's irritating.
Apologize, please.
Yeah, it's terrible already. Say sorry.
I apologize for the short update, guys. Things have gotten a little crazy around here, and I'm not sure how often I'll be able to update going forward, because they're out to get me. The search and they know I know. Things have gotten a little crazy around here, and I'm not sure how often I'll be able to update going forward. I really appreciate all the support you guys have given me, and while I only have a couple of stories to share with you, I'll be interested to see what you all think. A firefighter who was helping us at the training op told me about a call he'd gone on, supposedly to help rescue a kid from an absolutely massive tree. Classic.
Oh, like he climbed the tree?
You know, like getting the cat out of the tree.
Okay,
it's like the typical...
But rescue someone from a tree, I immediately was like, how is he inside the tree?
I do not think he is inside the tree. I think he is up on top.
He is the tree.
He said they didn't give him details, just that they needed him to come out and help because they lacked the proper equipment. He'd been called out specifically because this thing was so huge that the SARs didn't feel safe trying to climb it. He'd been a tree trimmer before joining the VFD, so it was easy enough for him to grab his old equipment and come help out. That's a scary job.
Tree climbing?
Yeah.
Did you see those videos?
Do you remember when we got the big tree cut down in the yard?
Yeah.
They go up high.
Yep.
That's scary.
And barely hanging on.
Yeah. He was led out about 2 miles, and the team stopped at one of the biggest trees in the area and pointed up. He laughed and asked to the op captain how the kid had gotten up there, made some joke about the old cat in a tree thing. We beat you to it.
We just did
But the captain just shook his head and told him to get up there and get the kid down. Because I'm just throws him. You said... He said he knew something was up, but he didn't push it. He said that as he climbed the tree, he started wondering if they were playing a prank on him. So this part starts in quotes, so it's supposed to be the firefighter talking. There was no way this kid should have been able to climb this fucking thing. It was massive at the base, but about halfway up it started tapering, and I almost had to turn back a few times because I really didn't think it was going to hold me. But he said he kept going, and when he was just about at the top, he saw a flash of blue in the branches. We're back to quotes. I saw the kid's shirt sort of caught in a branch. Oh, I thought he meant literally like a light caught in a branch. And
Wait, what?
I think the flash of blue is him getting a glimpse of the shirt.
Oh, I still thought it was a light. Okay.
I saw the kid's shirt sort of caught in a branch, and I called out to him and told him to come near me if he could, but he didn't say anything. Oh boy. Oh, is this kid already dead?
No, right?
I kept moving, calling the kid's name and telling him not to be scared, that I was there to help him. By the time I got to him, I knew he wasn't going to answer me.
No, he's dead.
I found him, or what was left of him. That's already, it's not going to go well.
Oh no.
Cradled in the fork of a branch, and the fact that he was up there was sheer luck. If he'd fallen any other way, he'd have come crashing down. It wouldn't have mattered though, because this kid was dead long before he ended up in that tree.
Oh.
I don't know who put him there, or how, or why, but it was fucking sick. Kid's intestines had popped out of his mouth and were hanging in the branches. It was like some sick fucking Christmas tree, the way they were draped all over everything.
All right, the Terrifier.
I'm recording this right after Christmas too.
Yeah, literally.
Ugh. I got a better look and saw they'd even popped out of his ass. His guts were hanging out the bottom of his pants. His eyes were gone, I assume shoved out from whatever force caused him to fucking pop like a stress ball. You ever seen a body that's been floating in water for a long time, have their tongues kind of swell up and stick out?
Can't say I have.
He was like that. I remember because there were flies crawling all over it. I think I must have gone into shock because... Man, I just pushed that kid down with a stick I broke off a branch. Oh. I was joking before about that. Gee. Just kind of poked him until he fell.
That's so
bad. It's already dead. Not going to hurt him. I don't know why I did that.
Poke.
I almost lost my job because of that. But man, the thought of hauling that kid down over my shoulder the whole way, gathering his guts up and coiling them around me like ropes so they wouldn't get snagged.
I swear he already looked like that up here.
I couldn't do it. I've seen a lot of dead kids, more than I'd ever admit. I've seen a kid who hid in a full bathtub during a house fire, boiled him alive, turned him into literal soup. But this, I don't know what did this, but the thought of touching that kid's body made me feel like I was going to lose my mind. I heard him hit the ground, and I figured everyone would freak out, but they knew he was dead when they sent me up there. Oh.
That's fucked
They
up.
didn't say anything, but they didn't shout or freak out or anything. I got to the bottom and I started to get up in the captain's face, asking him who he thought he was sending me up there when they knew damn well the kid was dead. But he just told me it was none of my concern and thanked me for getting the evidence down. I remember he said that. I remember it specifically because it was so weird to hear it phrased that way. The evidence. Yeah. Like he wasn't even a person. Like he'd never been a little kid who got lost and had something fucking unspeakable happen to him. The captain had a crew lead me back out of the woods, but he and 2 others stayed behind, and I thought that was weird. Why wouldn't they have me help get the kid out? I tried asking, but the guys leading me out just told me they couldn't discuss an open case. And then I think we're back to the narrator.
I hope he seeked therapy after that.
Yeah. I asked him what he thought had happened to the kid, and he got really pensive and thought about it for a bit. Back to the firefighter. I would have said a crush injury based on how his guts came out like that. But with those injuries, you see massive contusions under the skin, obvious trauma. This wasn't like that. It was almost like that kid got caught in a big vacuum and had his guts sucked out. But even then, there was no trauma. None at all. It bothers me, man. It bothers the hell out of me.
Bothers me too.
Not quite as weird as the kid that had like checkerboard bits taken out of him. But yeah, still a very, very interesting one. Like in my mind, I almost wonder if it's like...
I want to know how old the kid was. I feel like that'd make it either like, not better, but like if he's 17, I think I'd be like, well, that sucks, but less than if it was like 5, you know what I mean?
I mean...
It's terrible, I know. I'm telling myself...
In my mind, it's like he, like, whatever happened to him, and then he, like, fell through a portal, like, out of the sky and, like, landed in the tree or something.
Yes.
Because there's definitely weird, like, portal stuff always going on.
Back to Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Holly, sorry.
Spoilers.
TMI.
Kinda.
No, what do I say?
TMI.
Take that out.
We're going to replace spoilers with TMI.
TMI, you don't want to know it.
One of the vets at the training op reads No Sleep, and he recognized my stories. He knows me pretty well, and we've swapped stories before. I do like when it gets
Did you
kind
say
of...
eat no sleep?
Reads?
Reads no sleep?
No Sleep is the name of the subreddit this is on.
No, what'd you just say? He writes what? What's his thing? Eats no sleep?
One of the vets at the training op reads No Sleep, the subreddit that this is on.
With it. Got it.
And he recognized my stories, so he's on the subreddit reading these. Mm-hmm. He knows me pretty well, and we've swapped stories before. He asked if he could share something he's noticed about the stairs and some thoughts he had. And then we're going into quotes.
To the stairs.
Always comes back to the stairs. So this is the other guy. I do like when it gets meta and it's like acknowledging that the story is
real
written on a subreddit.
Right.
Where like other... Because like, I forget, I might have said this when we first started reading it, but there's the No Sleep subreddit in general, for anyone who doesn't know. They're all fiction, and they all have to pretend they're real. And sometimes, like this...
like creepypasta, right?
Yeah. It works well. Sometimes it really doesn't, though.
Oh.
Like, well... So just quick tangent. So there's one story, I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I enjoyed it mostly. It was like this guy who was part of a crew that was like cleaning up abandoned ships, basically.
What the ship?
And the ship was haunted and it took him to like a parallel universe in the 40s. But this whole time he's still ostensibly got a computer with an internet connection to be posting the story on Reddit.
Right.
So that's where it's this would have been a good story if you weren't forced into that framework, you know?
It would make sense if he wrote it all there, but went back and posted it.
Yeah, even something like that.
Yeah, I mean, like...
But like, yeah, there's sometimes
how do you
where
post something on a site that you can't... Unless, okay, maybe your computer doesn't know you're back in time.
My point is, sometimes it really enhances the story. It makes it feel more real. Sometimes total opposite brings you out of the story. From
the beginning, I've always thought they written this so well.
Yeah.
And the fact that they tied him like, yeah, my bro read my post.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, me too.
All right, where were we? All right, so there's the friend.
Eat, no sleep.
I'm really glad you decided to share these.
Me
I
too.
think
Sorry.
I think it's important that people be aware of what's out there, especially since the Forest Service is doing such a good job at covering it all up. I asked him what he meant. What do you mean, what do I mean? The lack of any kind of media attention? No coverage of missing kids or bodies found miles from where they get lost in the first place? David Paulides hits this right on the head. The FS is doing everything they can to keep people coming here, even if it isn't safe. I mean, to be fair, it's not like these things happen every day, but the numbers add up, and it's worth looking into. Especially the stairs. I was surprised you didn't mention the flipped ones. I didn't know what he was talking about. I couldn't remember him ever talking about something like that. He seemed somewhat incredulous. Dude, I can't believe you've been on this long without seeing them. No one told you about them? I shrugged and asked him to elaborate. Well, there's the normal stairs, the ones that pop up when we're out a ways. I know you know about them. But sometimes I've run across ones that are flipped upside down. I guess it would be like if you had a dollhouse and the stairs were a separate piece. Now, take that, flip it upside down so the top step is stuck in the dirt, and put it out in the woods. They're like that. I don't see them as often, but they're odd, to say the least. Makes me think of footage taken after a tornado when houses are all blown apart and random things are left standing, like chimneys and garden walls. Those ones freak me out more than the normal ones because I can't really write those off as easily.
Oh, but you can write off the other
Right.
one. Oh, regular stairs. That's fine. Upside down stairs.
Now it's crazy.
But also, part of me is thinking about looking at a set of staircase without, like, the context of, like, a house. And, to like, it feels like it could, like, especially a spiral staircase. Is there an upside down to that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Couldn't you just also walk up the other end? Unless it has the, like, wall to it, you know?
Maybe he does just mean like the diagonal normal ones.
Right.
All right, so I think we're back to the narrator. I don't scare very easily, like most of us who work here, but that idea stuck with me, and it bothers me. I'm going to try and find out more about them. He also mentioned how many people were bothered by the guy with no face. He got really excited. Oh boy.
Look at his...
I love that guy. He got really excited and told me he'd seen something similar. We're back to the friend. I was out on a training exercise a few years ago. I was camped out in my tent, and I heard someone walking around outside of camp. We're told not to wander far, which you know, so I wondered if maybe it was a rookie who'd gotten up to pee and couldn't find his way back. Remember that guy in our group a few years back who almost fell off the damn mountain? Well, I'm paranoid about that happening again, so I got up to see what was going on. I went to the edge of camp and I called to whoever it was and told them that camp was this way. But they kept going back out into the woods, so I went after them. I know it was stupid, well, as long as you know. I know it was stupid, but I was half asleep and I just really didn't want to deal with some idiot getting hurt.
He just keeps walking. I'm trying to take a shit.
Right.
Camp is this
Leave
way.
me alone. I followed this thing on a dead straight course for about a mile, and then it stopped on the edge of a little river. I could see the outline of it because the water was reflecting the moon, and it looked just like an ordinary guy. He had a pack on, and it looked like he was facing me. I asked if he was okay, if he needed help, and he cocked his head like he didn't understand me. I always have my pocket knife on me, and it's got a little thumb light attached to it, so I turned that on and lit up his chest so I wouldn't blind him. He was breathing slow and deep, so I wondered if he was sleepwalking. I went closer and asked him again if he was okay. I moved the light up, and something didn't seem right, so I stopped. He kept breathing in this real slow, deep breaths.
How'd he breathe without a face?
You know? Invisible nostrils.
His ears, maybe?
That's why he breathes so slow, because he doesn't have the nose.
Right. There's a reason. He's just being very discriminative right now.
Oh, all right. Wait for the next sentence.
Oh, no.
He kept breathing in this real slow, deep breaths, and I sort of figured out gradually that that's what was bothering me. It was like he was pretending to breathe, but not actually doing it.
Oh, that's disgusting.
His breaths were too even and deep, and all his movements were exaggerated, like his shoulders going up and his chest moving.
That's disgusting.
I told him to identify himself, and he made this muffled noise. I moved the light up, and I shit you not, the guy had no face, just smooth skin. I freaked out, and I sort of fumbled my light, but I saw him move toward me, but he didn't actually move. I don't know how to explain it, but 1 second he was at the edge of the river, and the next he was 5 feet from me. I feel like we have had that description before, too.
Yeah.
Where he just, like, moves instantaneously.
Yeah. Those black-eyed children, the camping trip that they just, like, came really
Well,
fast.
I think in this story, too, I think the faceless guy
Oh, yeah.
has had that description as well.
Yeah, the one on the mountain.
We really got to record these closer together so we
I know,
remember
right?
all the previous.
It's been a long time.
I never looked away or blinked. It was like he moved so fast my brain couldn't keep up. I tripped and fell on my ass, and I could see this line open up on his throat. Well, see, there's
his mouth.
It stretched up to his ears, and his head tilted back, and he smiled at me with his throat. Gross.
Wait. Spirited Away.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like,
No face.
Yeah.
Ghibli, which movie?
Yeah, it's like, wait, he has that.
Yeah, that's
tip.
just no face.
He's just hungry for attention.
Little sounds. There wasn't any blood, just this gaping dark hole, and I swear he smiled at me with this gash in his throat. Well, at least he's friendly.
Right. He could have been frowning.
I got up and I ran as fast as I could back to camp. I couldn't hear him following me, but I felt like he was always right behind me, even though when I looked back I couldn't see him. I couldn't hear him following me, but I felt like he was always right behind me, even though when I looked back I couldn't see him. I calmed down when I got back to camp. The fire was still going, and I guess that pack mentality of being with other people made me stop and breathe a little.
Like him.
At least he wasn't coming back like, I'm so hungry, I need to eat that.
Right.
I waited by the fire to see if he'd follow me there, but I didn't hear anything else for a few hours, so I went back to bed. I am not sleeping, if that...
All right.
No way. I know it sounds weird, but
It
the
is.
whole thing was just so surreal that it was almost like I immediately wrote it off as my imagination. Fair. All right, so we're back.
It was a trick of the lighting.
Oh, this is a new story section, so we're definitely back to the narrator.
Okay.
We were telling ghost stories one night before bed just to scare each other and poke fun at whoever got creeped out. Nope. No, thank you. That would be me. Cannot do spooky stuff. Well, I do like horror movies and stuff, but not like the
Right, not like
real
True.
stuff. Yeah, before bed.
like the lady across the street that made cookies in her basement. Do you remember that story?
What?
Our neighbor in the basement light, and you guys would tell me that she was abducted by aliens one night, and like one night her whole house was gone and you could only see her basement, and then the next day it was back and she wasn't the same. She was an alien.
We told you this?
Yes, you and Jamie.
I don't remember this at all.
The lights were coming out of the basement, pulsing like green lights out of the basement windows, and then the whole house was just gone. And then, but the next day it was back, so it was okay, so that I could still see the house and I could believe you. And if she asked you if you wanted cookies, don't go outside. And I had to sleep that night.
Sorry, I guess. Oh, man. Yeah, just like that. Most of the time it's the rookies. But one woman told a story that actually managed to get under my skin a little bit. And I know the same was true for others. She said it was true, but then again, every ghost story told around a campfire is true. Somehow, though, I don't think she was making it up. It had that ring of truth that only really traumatizing events have. She said that when she was a kid, she and her friend used to go out in the woods behind her house a lot. She lived in northern Maine, where there's a lot of dense, unpopulated national forest. I don't think narrator ever says where this takes place, but I think now we can check off that it does not take place in Maine. She said the woods up there aren't like they are here. They're so thick in places that the trees block out the sun almost completely. She and her friend grew up there, so they weren't scared of being out there alone, but they did always maintain a sense of caution in certain areas. She said it was never really talked about, but they always knew not to go more than a mile or two beyond their homes. The adults never said why, but it was an unspoken rule that no one ventured out that far. She and her friend made up stories about bears as big as houses that lived out there, and they used to scare each other by hiding and making growling noises while the other searched for them. Okay, so yeah, this is pretty much like us telling you scary stories. Oh. She said one summer there was a series of awful storms that blew down a lot of trees and set one part of the forest a few miles behind her house on fire. Fire crews got it under control, but she said some of them came back not quite the same. So this part will be in quotes. It was like they'd been to war. You could tell who'd really gotten scared because they had the same look on their faces. I think it's called shell shock. My friend and I said they were like walking dead people. They didn't smile or say anything if you went up to them, and most of them left town as soon as everything was over. I asked my parents about it, but they said they didn't know what I was talking about. Are they actually not noticing, or are they not wanting to admit anything to their kids? Once everyone was told the woods were safe again, my friend and I decided to try and hike out to where the fire had been. We didn't tell our parents where we were going, and it was pretty exciting to think we were disobeying them like that. Kids. We hiked out about 2 miles or so, and we started seeing burnt trees and stuff. I'm not going to read it like that because there was a fire, she shouldn't be confused.
I was going to say, yeah, they hiked to the fire. Crazy.
We hiked out about 2 miles or so, and we started seeing burnt trees and stuff. I remember my friend got really upset because we found the skeleton of a deer curled up under a tree, and I practically had to drag her away. She wanted to bury it, but I didn't want her touching it because its antlers were weird. I can't remember why, I just remember thinking that there was something wrong with them, and I didn't want either of us going near it.
That's crazy.
This gives me big, like, Lovecraft vibes.
Oh my goodness.
Like the color out of space where it just like infects this area and like slowly starts mutating things.
I found a dead deer in the woods once.
Did it have antlers that were mysteriously wrong?
No, but it was on a hunting sleigh and it was cut open.
Ugh.
And its brains were gone because we looked through the eye, and it was laying at the base of a tree, and there was a picture of Jesus on top of the tree. I was with my friend, and that was the scariest moment of my life. Okay, you can.
If you're gonna hunt a deer at a weird Jesus tree, at least take the whole thing with you.
It was weird. It was like, I don't think you'd leave that if you're hunting. Like,
and I didn't want either of us going near it. The farther we went, the more burnt everything got. Eventually, there were no standing trees, and it was like being on another planet. Almost nothing green, just brown and black everywhere. We were standing there looking at it all, and we both heard someone shouting in the distance. I panicked. Just like that. I panicked because I thought it was my dad and that he was going to tell me I was grounded. My friend broke off and went to hide behind a big rock because she said she didn't want to be caught out here. Her parents had forbidden her to come out in the woods at all, and she'd lied and told them we were going to a movie.
Drama.
I followed her and we kept listening. I could hear this voice getting closer, and I realized they were calling for help. I thought maybe it was some hiker who'd gotten lost and needed directions back to town. That used to happen all the time, so I was used to helping people out. I heard him following my voice, so I kept calling out until I saw him running in the distance. He got closer, and I could see that his face was all red. All right, well, at least he has a face, so we're already
we're good.
We're already doing better than the last one.
And at least we know he doesn't kill her.
True.
Because she's just telling the story.
Could kill the friend, though.
Here. Oh.
I told my friend to give me her pack because she had a first aid kit. She made this noise like she was grossed out, and she asked if I saw his face. Ew, it was gross. I don't want to help him.
Disgusting. Yeah, it's gross.
I told her to shut up, Becky. I told her to shut up, and I jogged up to meet him. I stopped about halfway, and when he stopped in front of me, I could see that his nose and lips and part of his forehead were all gone. Okay, so much for having a face,
I was gonna say,
guess.
okay, I guess he doesn't have a face.
It was like they'd been sliced clean off.
Oh my goodness.
He was bleeding bad, and I saw that the knees of his pants were red too. I took a step back, but I was too scared to move much, and he grabbed my shoulders. It felt like I got a shock, and he jerked back. He started babbling, and I couldn't tell what he was saying, except that he kept asking how long he'd been gone. He asked me where his unit was, but I just shook my head.
Firefighter?
Oh, my mind went to like the army, but yeah, that would make a lot more sense.
I don't know what units are, though, besides like ounces and...
Like your team, your group.
Yeah,
yeah.
But I feel like only certain people...
Yeah.
Not
no.
all teams are units.
No, you're right.
You know?
Yeah, it is pretty generic. But I think you're right that it is probably the fireman. He looked me over and he saw my Walkman and he screamed. Is he from the past? Doesn't recognize this technology, maybe. Maybe he is a soldier. He just kept babbling and touching his face, and I realized... he wasn't wearing the right clothing.
Oh.
He had some kind of weird gray cloth jacket and almost formal pants on, and the jacket had these weird buttons and red borders on it.
Is that army?
Like Civil War,
right?
or Revolutionary War, yeah. Ooh. I'd have to look up the actual specific outfits to see what matched better, but I think gray specifically feels Civil War. I kept shaking my head, and I told him I couldn't understand what he was saying. I went to open the first aid kit, but he just screamed again and said the only thing I could really understand. "Don't touch me. You'll make me go back there." After that, he ran off, and I could hear him screaming the whole time.
Oh.
When I couldn't hear him anymore, I turned around, and my friend was crying. I just turned around and started walking back towards town. She asked me over and over what had happened and who that was, but I didn't say anything. When we got home, I told her I didn't want to play in the woods with her anymore. We're still friends, but we don't talk about that guy. Not ever.
I wonder if he was part of the Confederate.
Were they the gray ones? All right, that's what I was thinking. Union was blue, but I couldn't remember for sure. Which is extra weird because up in Maine,
right?
Not this. But I guess
that's why he's dead there.
But I guess that does make it more weird since there's time and also space,
right?
Traveling of some sort. And I wonder too, like with like the clean sheer
that's
off
how
his face,
get sucked in, like if like a beam around you.
Yeah, well,
it cuts off the other part of your face.
Well, there's also too in one of the earlier stories, the guy like lost his hand.
Oh yes,
going up the stairs. So there's like some sort of like like invisible wall or something that just like shears a straight line.
Maybe he went up the stairs.
Yeah,
and that's how he.
Which is also a fun little touch because like it implies that like this has been going on for a long time,
right?
Or I guess arguably with time travel involved, it could start whenever and work backwards through time.
And maybe that's what's up the stairs is time.
And also like the fact that like touching the person from the present would somehow
freak you out.
Well, he says you'll make me go back there. So
right. Setting him.
Which I assume is not like back in time where he belongs, but presumably some other third place where like wherever the staircase leads.
Right.
Which is like, it's such a good like, I know I'm just like a broken record. I say the same thing every time, but like they give you just enough to like get your mind going on like all the things that could potentially, but they never like, even like the fact that it's probably a Confederate uniform, like even that, like it gives you just enough details to like piece things together if you want, but like it doesn't like outright say, oh, he's a time traveler from the Civil War and that's pretty freaky,
Right. Like, it's like, oh, he just looks a little different. He's yelling help. Like even like
the face getting cut off, like it's similar to the staircase thing, but like maybe it is something different. Maybe there is other stuff going on because
and could be Ghost because also she's a child and they always say like children see things differently.
And like,
you know what I mean?
It is in Maine, so it's definitely in another area. So how is he implying that like the stairs are everywhere or like the fact that it's a different area? So maybe it is a different thing,
right?
It's just like just continues to perfectly thread the needle between like explaining too much and too little, which it's just so good. I forget if I already read this line, but the very last line is just, I'll update as soon as I'm able, guys. I appreciate the continued support. And that is it for part 5 of the Search and Rescue series.
That's crazy.
Continues to be a lot of fun.
That's crazy. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning
Thank you,
in.
everyone.
If you want to send in some more spooky dooky ghost stories or
Please
cryptid
send them in,
or
whatever you call them.
literally anything. We'll take true crime. Send us whatever you want.
If it happened to you, we want to hear it.
You can send that at
It's
The
the ghouls room
Room
at gmail.com.
gmail.com. We also have a website, theghouls.room.com. We have Instagram. We have
It'll
Facebook.
all be. It's all linked.
Find us
You
all.
can find it. You're smart.
XOXO Gossip Cool. That's my new thing. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for listening to The Ghouls Room.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So,
Oh my goodness.
how about we wrap this thing up?
Yeah, I got the tape.
The tape?
Wrap
Oh.
the gift. Wrap the gift. And paper. Wrap.